Hey guys, this is Jim, KN4YCD, and you're watching FEP Labs Radio. Thanks for stopping by. So today I want to take a quick look at this component tester that I got. I purchased this off of Banggood, and it was about $18. It was not expensive. It's an interesting little gadget. Now I've had this for a while and just not got around to doing a video review on it. It's a component tester, so it will test components, resistors, capacitors, transistors, etc., etc. The price is great. $18 for something that does this is awesome. And in the box, it comes with, of course, the device. It did not come with a battery or these components. And then it has a little plastic case you can put on it. So my first comment is the case, while it will hold it, doesn't really match how that thing is laid out all the way. So I think the case is completely sketch. It does not come with any documentation. I got none in the box, and I've been unable to find documentation on Banggood. So for $18, you're going to have to figure out how to use this yourself. That being said, I've played with the device and it works fine. I haven't had any problems with it. It has a couple of functions that I don't really understand. They don't really make sense. Part of it's the case, part of it's the way this works. So on any of these kind of component testers, they have this little dual inline socket deal here where you stick your component inside the different slots and then throw the lever, and then that connects everything up. This pad right here is also for testing components, and let's take a quick look at that. You have to hit the button to make the power come on. It will turn itself off after a little while if you don't use it. When you turn it on, it will tell you no unknown or damaged part. Let me quit moving my hand in there because it makes the focus go away. Stop. We should be able to test components by putting our leads on these pads here and then hitting our test button. And it did. It absolutely shows us our base collector emitter and the values for this particular transistor that I have here. It shows us it's a PNP, which lead is which. That is labeled down here at the bottom, 1, 2, and 3. So we can figure out, if you don't know how to identify these things, and I'm no good at it, you can identify which is which particular lead. You can also test components in this up here. Now, what I find weird about this thing, and this is where I'm a little fuzzy on this, and without any kind of documentation, I haven't been able to quite suss it out. It shows you on top 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1, 1. So these are all apparently 1 on top and bottom, as near as I can tell. These are 3 separate leads, 1, 2, and 3, and that's the same on top and bottom, 1, 2, and 3. So when you go to connect a component, you need to put its legs in different slots. So I could use one over here, either one of those leftmost slots there, or I could use one of the ones over there. It doesn't make any sense to me why you would do it that way, and that limits what you can do with testing any kind of IC chips. However, for testing individual discrete components, it works fine. So I want to quickly run through a few component tests, and I'm just going to put this transistor in there. And the way this works is exactly what I was talking about. You just put in the legs of your component in the device, throw the lever, and that does a little compression thing and holds it in there firmly. Let's turn it back on, and it'll come up and test immediately, and it tells us the same thing that it told us on the pad. This is a PNP type transistor. There's the base collector and emitter, and there are the specific values for this transistor. So pretty gnarly, works fine. So it will test transistors. It will test capacitors. It is kind of useful to have all these ones over here, because then you can spread these legs out, and I can put 1 in there and number 2 over on the other side, like so, and we can test it, and it tells me it's a capacitor and the value of it, which is correct. This says 440 464 nanofarads. I think the cap itself is rated at 470 nanofarads. Let's see, let me double check. The cap is rated at 470 nanofarads, so that's within a few percentage points of the rated value. So let's test something else. There's our cap. Here's a resistor that I was using for something else. I don't know what the value is. I can't read color codes without Googling things. So we'll do the same thing. We'll steal a 1 from the right side. We'll throw it in the 2 on the left side. And it doesn't matter. You can use any 1, 2, or 3 as long as, you know, the leads are in the appropriate connectors. And it shows us that it is a resistor, and it's 147.9 is what it measures as at. This is probably a 150 ohm resistor. I don't know off the top of my head, but that value is close enough to what this is rated at, and I believe it's a 150. So we'll take him out, scooch him over there. We've already looked at a transistor. Here is a diode, and we'll put him in there and throw our switch. And it's really cool for diodes, and it does the test, and it shows us our values and which direction the bias of the diode is at, the way it is put in here. So this is telling me from 2 to 1 we're biased toward the 1. The problem is, it's not a problem, it's something to be aware of. We're using the 1 over here, not using that 1, so this is actually backwards to the display. If I take this diode and I reverse it and stick it in 1 and 2 on the left side, and then we do our test again, it shows us that we're biased that way because I'm using that 1 and 2. So like I said, these 4 ports on top and bottom on both sides are port 1. They're all electrically connected. 2, 3 are electrically connected top and bottom. 1 is electrically connected top and bottom, and then these 4 on both sides, which is kind of goofy. But that's the best I've been able to tell that it does. But it gives us our value and shows the bias of the diode, which is excellent if you don't know how to read diodes, or like me, the thing is so tiny that you can't exactly see the markings on it. Here's an LED. This is a diode as well. We're going to stick him in 1 and 3. One of our spare sets of 1s over here, and then number 3 on the left side. We're going to turn him on. He's going to test it. See the light flashing. And again, he says, oh, look, you're in number 3 and number 2, and here's the bias. And the beauty of this is it will run the diode either way. It'll do all the components either way. It doesn't matter about polarity. It figures all that out and does the testing itself. And as you can see, it changed the bias. I did not mention this, and somebody's asked me about this before on a similar device that I did a review on the little Finersi oscilloscope component tester. This does measure equivalent series resistance on capacitors, and it tells us. So there's our capacitor rating in nanofarads, and we have an equivalent series resistance, or ESR, of 6.6 ohms. So that's pretty cool. In any case, guys, that's it for this today. I will put a link for this device below in the description. Make sure you give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. I really appreciate it. Subscriptions are free and they make you happy. And ring the bell so you get notified whenever I post any new videos. Guys, 73, have a good day.